What is up, everybody? Good evening. Thirsty Thursday, whatever you want to call it. Good evening. I'm drinking Gatorade, staying hydrated. Good to see y'all. So, what's shaking? I was streaming earlier today because I didn't do the morning show. My back was all foobarred up, and I literally just took some leave and went back to bed. So Bubba just getting home from the first road, now switching trailers and heading to Kansas. Get that money, man. Get that money, man. My boy Finnegan came out with something. Yeah, is what it is. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Lay around in bed all day and say I can't go to work? Can't afford that shit. Go to work. That's how we handle it. Hooked into a big brown trout. She couldn't turn it. Oh, no. You're wrong on so many levels right now. You're wrong on so many levels.
Do you suck dicks?
Sir, no, sir.
Bullshit, I'll bet you could suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
Sir, no, sir.
Yeah, shouldn't be any buffering right now. So everything on my end says it's fully operational. So for all
This time on
you
Finnegan's
car
Garage,
people
it's
out
an
there.
update on the Trade My Truck disaster and the Death Metal Charger. We're bringing it back, which I don't think I ever showed it to you, so it's not really coming back, but, well, whatever, just watch. In episode 75, we told you we wanted to trade our 1984 Chevrolet R30 ramp truck, which was a 34-foot long behemoth with a small block Chevy and a Turbo 400 trans that was missing the back door and had a bit of rust. You know, it needed some work. And every day since then, it's been like going on a treasure hunt. I click into the email box and just see what's out there. What are people willing to give us? And it's been amazing. We've had everything from gold watches to girlfriends to the weirdest automobiles, motorcycles, and go-karts I've ever seen. Some guy even tried to trade us a test fixture for computers. We're not nerds, so we didn't know what to do with that, but thanks for offering. Anyway, we think we have it narrowed down to one particular trade, and I don't want to show it to you because I don't want to jinx it, but I think next week we're going to Maryland to trade Big Red for something maybe even cooler. Not sure. In the meantime, say hello to the Death Metal Charger, my 1968 Dodge Charger, which sat in a barn for 50 years before Tony Angelo and I rescued it during an episode of Roadkill last summer. And we road tripped it from here to Indy, showed it to the guy who originally built it, Joe Barry. I think we ruined his day, really, because it turns out he really didn't like the car all that much and kind of ruined his life. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Newburn and I right now are getting this thing ready for a roadkill shoot, so we're going to show you all the crap we have to do in the next 24 to 48 hours to make this ready to go to Roadkill Nights in Pontiac, Michigan.
The man cave side of the garage is fully remodeled.
I know, right?
It's practically restored. Especially now that our media library is, fully functional. Look at that. We got magazines.
Wash my hands.
Wash basin. All the good cassette tapes. The bad ones wouldn't fit up on the shelf. Those are just the good ones. And are they 3 deep or 2 deep? Yeah, they're stacked 3 deep.
3 deep.
3 deep. No more running upstairs to use the facilities. Ever since the roadkill shoot, this thing has been DOA. I haven't driven it since. Dave drove it once.
Yeah.
What happened?
I took it to a car show in Lineville, Alabama, and on the way home, it decided to just shut off.
Yes.
Left me stranded for like 4 hours.
Yes, yes. It died when the module inside of our Mallory Unilite distributor just decided to fail. And it failed even though we ran it with a ballast resistor. We ran it without a ballast resistor. It just was like, no, not going to work. So the car sat for a few more months, and then finally we ordered a brand new distributor. And this distributor has an issue, and I'm pretty sure this is the problem, with our magnetic pickup coil moving about and actually touching the reluctor wheel. See how it's stuck there? It's magnetized. See they're touching? And even if you adjust it, because you can, there's a slotted mount there, you can adjust it because this thing moves, they end up touching each other. So it still didn't want to move, and this car has to be on a pilot transport truck tomorrow because it's headed out to Roadkill Nights, this awesome event we have on Woodward Avenue every year, and we're filming another episode of Roadkill with it, but it currently doesn't run. So the folks at Summit Racing were kind enough to hurry up and overnight me a brand new MSD ready to run Pro Billet distributor, which negates the need for any other module. Like currently we have the old school Chrysler
Holy
5-wire
shit.
plug module there. We've even tried to run this thing with an HEM module. We tried both of them. Well, we're finally giving up because it's the distributor that seems to be the problem. And we're going to install a new one. And wouldn't you know it, the distributor actually hits our Edelbrock cylinder head. So we can't even install the new one easily. It just won't fall in there. It probably fits just fine with stock heads. And I'm guessing these Edelbrock castings are just a little thicker right there, so
It will fit shortly.
it will fit now. Yes, we'll make something happen. We can't really grind the distributor housing because that thing
So
is
I
not
have found
real thick.
somebody here on YouTube, by the way. I have found somebody here on YouTube that is absolutely ridiculous. That does some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And I can't say anything because I would do the same shit if I had mom and dad's money to spend. But yeah. So I'm going to show you guys somebody here. Now this is called Whistling Diesel. This guy does this guy does some crazy weird shit. Damn, I thought I was already subscribed to it. Let's see here. I know which one I'm looking for. Oh, yeah. Here.
In existence all at once.
Watch this guy.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Whistling Diesel YouTube channel. As you've probably seen already, we are now members of Camber Gang. You see the wheels. This is a new thing these days. The wheels kind of tip out a lot like that. Both sides are like that, really.
This
so,
poor truck, he kicks
yeah, I
the
did
shit
that
out of
myself.
this
I
truck
like the way it
constantly.
looks. It looks great. These are 38s on 38-inch tires on double stacked 2-inch wheel spacers. So what we're going to be doing today, as you all know, this truck has a very good reputation of a lot of horsepower. So I've put it on the dyno once, and that was it, because that dyno completely blew up, flames everywhere, shot the rollers right out the back, blew out my whole rear axle, shot the twin transmissions right at the bottom of it. So obviously traction is the biggest problem here. I have 4 and 5 wheel drive, so that fifth wheel there is the spare. It'll spin the spare if I launch too hard. So obviously all the wheels just spin. I kind of sit there and I don't even move any, even on pavement. I have here today, I'm really excited to introduce to you guys Catchmaster bulk rodent glue for catching large rodents such as large road crossing groundhogs that kind of get in your way. Large, even deer and stuff. I'm gonna dump this out. We're gonna paste it on the road. Some nice double, patches out there, real thick. And we're gonna start off in 2-wheel drive without the glue and see how the tires spin.
This takes a little bit of time, but I'm telling you, this is just...
So there are a freaking ton of warning labels on this thing. They have these like child-proof or adult-proof tabs on here so that no one can get into it. I don't know if you guys have seen, there's a bunch of YouTube videos. They set out huge pads of this. People go and lay down in it with like plastic protective stuff, and they can't get them out. They just died there. So anyways, it's really dangerous, obviously. So it says like warning, use extreme caution when handling hot glue. Substance behaves like hot oil, will evaporate your skin and bones. Heat resistant gloves and protective eyewear. Face guard and hazmat suit recommended if you get within 20 yards of it. So obviously safety first. Anyways, so let's pop off these tabs and see what's going on under here. Wait, oh my gosh. Oh, it smells so good. My bones are probably fine, don't worry. It said it could evaporate like bones. Just forget about it. Oh my gosh, guys. Holy cow, look at that. I just barely touched it. Oh my gosh, guys. Look at that right there. That's lifting the can up. That is lifting the whole can up just by barely touching it there. What are you doing? How about Butterfinger? Alrighty, boys. So, believe it or not, this is only the 200th or 300th burnout I've done with this truck. But we're gonna see now how it does without the rodent trap glue. And this is gonna be fun. Let's see what happens.
This thinks she needs to have braids tonight, so I'm trying to... This guy literally, this is Whistling Diesel on YouTube, by the way. This guy literally kicks the shit out of this truck constantly. He has done some extremely dumb shit.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, I don't know if it'll come out of the can.
I think in the instructions it tells you to heat this stuff up.
No! Oh, it's denting in the can. It's so thick.
This is industrial rodent for getting large rodents like New York-sized rats and groundhogs and shit like that.
Maybe this will work. Come on. Logan and I have been trying for like 20 minutes to get this stuff out of here, and it is so freaking thick. Like, we're pulling as hard as we can, and it won't come out. Ah! So, it's gonna take a while. Oh my gosh, like that's 15, 20 pounds hanging on there, and I could throw that thing and it wouldn't come off of there. This is why my neighbors hate me. Oh,
look at that.
Man. Oh man. Oh my gosh, guys. That is some thick stuff. Oh my gosh. So you guys probably tell by now how thick that stuff is. Let's give it a shot. It lifted off.
This stuff is insane.
Oh, it's pulling the asphalt up.
Oh,
It's pulling the pavement off of the road. Oh my gosh. That's stupid strong, guys.
It's
Jeez, it's pulling the road up.
what he's using. It's an industrial rodent trap glue. I think you're supposed to heat this stuff up though before you take it out of the can. You're supposed to heat it up, but basically what it's for, like, say you got badgers or you got, I don't know, whatever running around. This stuff is meant to catch those types of animals, those size animals. And they're literally going to try and do a burnout on this stuff.
I'm very sorry, highway department. I promise I will patch any potholes, even though you haven't patched your potholes. I know that. Anyways, don't worry, we'll fix what we break. Man, there's already strings coming up and getting on the wrap, like little strings of that stuff. Obviously, it's not gonna come out, so
Should work
just
to
gonna have
catch
to
a
buff it
liberal.
into there, whatever gets on there. But yeah, the truck is rolling. I'm in neutral, downhill. Not pushing on the pedal any. The truck is rolling and it's slowing the truck down every time I hit that stuff. So it's holding the whole truck back. So hopefully we don't just delaminate the entire road. We're gonna floor it and we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah, this guy does some crazy shit. I mean, some of it's really lame, but some of it's insane. Look at this. Oh my, look at it get all over the truck. Are you kidding me? Oh no! Oh no!
Oh my God! Look at this, guys! Oh Jesus! Oh, the whole fender well! All of this! Oh my God, guys!
See, look, he gets
we
some
got
heat
caught.
to it, and it.
It's like slinging strings everywhere. They're all over my phone right now.
They're all over me.
They're all over everyone. So we're gonna keep doing burnouts because this stuff is like really loosening up as it gets hot. So. My
Look
truck
at
just
it.
went into limp mode. I've never had that happen. Something with the whole transmission and going to like jello inside or something like that. But we're gonna do one more burnout.
Oh yeah, there's
just for
lots
fun.
of videos of him
So,
beating the piss out of his truck. He puts ag tires on 16 spaces on each side. This stuff is ridiculous. Look at it. That is the stringy stuff off of that.
All over the wrap. This guys, look right here. That is so freaking thick. Like, here comes little Amish girl. That little Amish girl is probably gonna have her bike like stuck to this road permanently. Here's some really funny looking burnout marks. They're like all like crooked and backwards and everything. It's gonna pull my boots off. Oh, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's just stupid strong. I will not allow my lovely neighbors to suffer the consequences of my immature actions here. So don't worry, guys. We know what we're doing. We'll get this cleaned up in no time. Very nice. Not even sticky anymore, as you can see. So if you noticed by now, if you've been subscribed for a few weeks, I never clickbait anything ever. If I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. And I try not to make the thumbnail deceiving or anything. It really annoys me when, you know, people, before I start YouTube, I see all these videos and I click on them. It's a complete waste of time. Just really deceiving thumbnail. I try and never do that in my videos. If I'm surprised, I make it look like I'm surprised. If I'm not surprised, I don't put that in the thumbnail, you know. So we're trying to, you know, make legitimate good content that you enjoy. Oh, there's a truck coming. Oh my God. Oh, it didn't get too bad. Everyone's tired, so you can see a little bit of residue like sticking as they're driving off. It's picking up gravel and stuff. It's not hurting their vehicles, don't worry, it's just like road tar. Big thank you to Logan once again for filming for me.
That's it. He didn't even do the boosted launch.
Well, that was fun. Now you know what happens when you drive through rodent trap glue. I will be honest, the wrap on this side is fine, and the wrap on this side over here is kind of screwed. Just not much you can do about this. I don't know how the heck I'm gonna get that off of there. I'm kind of really worried about it, to be honest, but that's probably gonna come off when I take the wrap off. Also, we're currently working on a website to sell these decals. Won't be just like this.
But you didn't do a boosted launch, and you're just talking about clickbait. Where's this other stuff? Bitches. I just want to show you guys some of the really, really dumb shit he does. Yeah, here you go.
Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Whistling Diesel YouTube channel. Huge thanks to Motor One for writing an article on my wheel spacer video that was on MSN and the Google homepage. But people were absolutely infuriated about this last YouTube video.
Which is exactly why we're making today's YouTube video.
So I got the wheels and spacers off, so we're all ready to put everything back together. Beautiful. Anyways, I got the spacers all re-welded to handle the thousands of pounds of torque that's going to be on these duals.
Oh,
so I put solid beads all the way along each one of these, and I got a heck of a lot better at welding this weekend. So in order to run these 36 wides as duals, we're going to bolt a 2-foot spacer on first, and then that'll be followed by this wheel.
Look at this
and
shit.
then a 4-foot spacer, which goes in between here and the hollowed out part. And we're going to line that up with the stock axle pattern there. And then the second wheel is going to bolt onto here. So we're going to have 72 inches of rubber and 72 inches of wheel spacer on just the back axle. And then pizza cutters up front.
All right, let's get to it. Look at that shit. Look at the whirly bird on the stack.
You can see the front wheels here are just dragging. They're not even turning. I'm pushing like a foot of corn with me, and I'm barely able to even steer. So once I get down in this mess, I'm not going to be able to get back out very easily. So anything I do is in 2-wheel drive, obviously. 4-wheel drive would completely toast the transfer case, and this right here is going to toast the torque converter without a doubt, and the differential and the drive shaft and the transmission and the wheel hubs and the ball joints and everything. So, you know, anyways, we're going to head for that swampy mess down there that has defeated several tractors and combines, and we're going to see what happens.
It's literally plowing with the front end. Look at this. That is insane. Look at that fucking warble on him. Look at him just wobble out there.
Oh, nice. So we kind of can't use two-wheel drive. The back end's just flopping around here. There's too much weight distribution on the mud. So it's just packing these treads full. So we're just using four-wheel drive, and if the transfer case grenades out the bottom of the truck, then it does, you know.
He has got to have the freaking nature of Duramaxes. Let's get through it. Damn. Yeah.
I could hear this thing as it was spinning. It was shredding corn. It was like sucking corn stalks into it. Here's kind of the view from inside the monster here. 10.4 miles to gallon and a check engine light. But this is the view that I have here.
That is just some... And he's got all sorts of shit that he does. I mean, literally. He has just beat the piss out of this poor truck. There.
So what I'm gonna do is cut this 1/4 inch, 2 foot square of steel plate, and then I'm gonna cut some lug holes in the center. And then we're gonna weld the barrel all the way around, and that should keep the steel.
I mean, like this. Who the hell does this? I did get your text from this earlier, but my phone is currently charging. It died. Look at this shit. Who does this shit?
Okay, so I got them all on, and it looks absolutely insane. And unfortunately, when I was welding the last barrel on, the ball joints and axles hopped off and ran somewhere over there into that woods. I think they knew what was about to happen. So hopefully I can still run it without them, and we're gonna try out some stuff. Is there something wrong with my hair or something? Because the neighbors keep looking at me really weird. So one challenging thing about 100 wides is rotating the tires. And you'll be fine as long as you have a long enough air hose, and just watch the teeth because they will chew you up and spit you out.
That one broke.
We broke an entire wheel off, but this
Epic
kind of
failure.
gives you a visual of how freaking huge
Yeah, I
these
mean,
are.
he just does some really dumb shit. So,
This is a wheel.
people
It's
always
like
ask me, where do
9
I
feet
find
tall.
all this shit that I'm looking for? And I mean, like, I just type in random shit like this. I'll go up here and put in, let's go, I get an idea in my head. Like this, wooden wheel burnout. Oh, Hoonigans.
Josh and I are constructing some wheels out of a bunch of plywood. Put them on the truck and do burnouts with wooden wheels.
going. Keep going.
Oh my God, that's gonna break.
All right, back her up.
Plugs are breaking off the thing.
It's all. You smell the burn already?
This is how I find
from that
shit.
little scooter.
Oh, I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna update my theory. It's because it's like, what is this, an 8 or a 10 lug or something?
Yeah.
There's not enough meat in between the lugs. It's just gonna break all the lugs.
Okay.
Damn,
Whoa. Hey, good luck, bud. I'm gonna run. Don't worry. Good luck. See you later, Dan.
That's wood wheels. That's wood wheels, by the way. They made them out of plywood.
Oh my God! It worked!
Get on the freeway and go home.
It worked!
Get on the freeway.
One thing I will say, that's probably the best smelling burnout.
It smells like a barbecue.
Pretty good burnout.
It smells like a barbecue.
Now they're
But that's how
Now
I
they're
find stuff.
perfectly
I just
round.
go in here and I look
Yeah,
up
what the
random shit. You know?
Today's theory, how to make a good smelling burnout?
Well, we got to make these catch on fire now.
you do donuts in it?
Yeah, not here.
If you start to do
Are you getting dust in your throat?
my beard,
You know, and then it,
Okay, carpenter's
you know, and then you go on the
Lumberjack.
suggestions. and
Yeah,
starts
we should
giving
put some gas
weird
on
shit.
it.
Ready?
This is terrifying. I don't like it. I don't like it.
it's smoky.
That's stupid.
Oh man.
This is the worst kind of smoke. Is this considered successful?
Oh, this is
this-
definitely successful.
Did we just succeed?
We finally succeeded. I want to continue this.
Let's get on the 405
I would like
right
to continue
now.
this. I wanted, if I had enough time, I wanted to do square wheels. Why aren't wheels square?
But I don't know, it's just what I do, and then you find clickbait shit all over the place and start clicking on stuff. Like this. All electric Mustang Fastback.
68 Mustang Fastback, but it's all electric. 1,000 horsepower, 1,800 pound-feet of torque. This thing is a screamer. I'm Steve Formsma, your host for Austin Garages. Let's go for a ride.
But literally, that's my life on YouTube. That wait a minute, do I got YouTube? I got YouTube videos, don't I? What do I got up there? I don't even know what I got up there now. Let's just type in old Redneck Invasion. What's in here? Oh, look at there. There's shows. I guess I got a few of them old Screw 2 videos up there, huh? We're getting there. Most of them are the morning shows, but... yeah. Ooh, this is one of my favorites. See how long it takes to load this. Oh, that's a morning show. Never mind. Never mind. I screwed up. So, look at that. Well, night all. All right, Farmer Trucker, we'll catch you on the flip side. I haven't even been paying attention to the chat. See, this is why I can't watch YouTube while I'm doing the show, because I get so wrapped up in what I'm watching that I literally cannot pay attention to chat. Sean, good evening. Good to see you. Uh, oh man, and here's the thing. You know, when it comes down to me and YouTube, it is really really bad. Yeah, me and YouTube are like two peas in a pod, and we just literally fuck everything up. I mean, you can find anything on YouTube. You know, like I like watching Vice Grip Garage, Roadkill, uh, Zip Ties and Bias Plies, because they're all guys that just grab junk, literal junk, and they get this shit running. YouTube is the devil. So, you know, Lolly and I are unplugging from satellite in August. Really just because we spend more time watching Twitch and watching YouTube and things like that. It just doesn't make sense for us to be paying, you know, I think we pay like 80 something dollars a month right now for satellite. It just doesn't make any sense. Love watching old machinery on YouTube and old aviation. Some of the old machinery, I like watching the big machinery stuff, like when, you know, the people that are across seas and they post how they build some of this shit is absolutely insane. Picked up the loader and snowblower for my case today. It's at the shop getting installed now. Nice. I call Matt up when I get snowed in. Matt, come blow me out. He'd be like, yep, I'll be there in a week. So, that's a lathe I used to run in the cities. Damn. So, Little Miss Air Horns, I think I got enough stuff here. I think I got enough go-go juice. Let's see if I can... This is a process that I have to go through because... It's uploading photo. So, in honor of her classmate, she is now making... I don't know why this keeps doing this, but it's going to piss me off. She's now making the bracelets. So, Little Miss Airhorn's making this for her classmate with lymphoma. $17.5. That's with the wind at your back and going downhill. It's a half an hour by regular car. I think it's damn near 30 miles between his place and mine. So, but if anybody's interested, She's selling them for $1 to raise money to, I believe she's raising money for the girl with lymphoma. So, Whisper her or Ruger wife or one of the above. So, how many teens do you know these days that want a manual transmission and crank windows? Only my kids. Yeah. Best anti-theft deterrent nowadays is a manual transmission. Oh, I suppose I could put them up here. Duh. So. But yeah. So, any do who dilly. Get a hold of her if it's something that you want to contribute to. Yeah. Kids know how to drive a manual. Here's the problem. The only thing that you can get outside of sports cars now, I mean, unless you buy an old school truck, the only thing you can order now with a manual transmission as far as a truck is a 1-ton Dodge. I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't know. I've been a manual transmission guy all my life, but you sent me a bunch of them, Little Miss Airhorn. So that's the problem when you blow up my phone. Oh, no, there it is. Never mind. Never mind. The process I go through for you. Damn kids. Now I gotta figure out which one it's this one. You're making me work right now. I'm supposed to be done for the day. Son couldn't believe his old mom knew how to drive a stick. My wife drives a stick quite well. I was actually really impressed with that. I had that old square body Chevy, had a 5-speed in it. She'd hop in and drove it like a pro. Oh, I'm not worried about it. She's doing it for a good cause. You know me, I'm always up for supporting a good cause. Let's see here. Pink. And then it should be here. And then there. And this is the $2 one she has. That one there. They say within 10 years, a stick shift in a semi will be a special order. I think it'll happen sooner than that, Matt. I think it'll happen sooner than that. Because a lot of companies nowadays, a lot of these commercial companies aren't even ordering manual transmissions anymore. And that's kind of how they phased them out of the light duty pickups. Although you can still order a brand new Dodge. Well, that's the second one. That's the second one you sent me. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Because there's that one. You need to get your prices straight. And then there's that one. So, that one. So we'll make this one number 1. And this one number 2. And it's going to support a good cause. They're not the same. Look at the way this one is done. This one's really tight, knit, like braided, like really tight. That's number 2. And then number 1 is the loop. See? They're different. Lolly. Ugh. Jeepers. They're not the same. So, oh, the whiskey. It tastes good tonight. Better watch it. LOL. She's telling him to support the her classmate with lymphoma, I believe, if I understand that correctly. So, um, Molly and I'll have to make arrangements to get a couple of them. We like supporting good causes. It's a very noble thing that she is doing. Well, look at there. My phone went dead and it says I have 7 things that need to be updated. Imagine that. Oh. Otherwise, I was streaming today while I was on the road. I was surprised my phone didn't drop the stream once. I was actually rather impressed. And then I got a phone call, and that killed it. So I went to mute the mic, and it killed the stream. Well, I don't wear jewelry, but I'll definitely hang it up in the truck. Actually, I'll probably hang it in the garage, because if I hang it in the truck, it'll fade out right away. I shouldn't say I wear jewelry. I started wearing my necklace again, but my fingers are too fat for my wedding ring. Oh. So, yeah, anyways, those of you tuning in, those of you didn't hear, the reason the morning show didn't happen this morning is because I had some serious issues. I've got a pinched nerve in my back that I've been fighting with for a couple of years. And I literally woke up in a lot of pain. I know I'm going to have to get to the chiropractor soon, so don't be surprised if a few mornings here in the future that you don't see me streaming. Or if I'm only on for an hour or whatever the case may be. I have to go and probably have to go to the chiropractor. I want to get it before it gets too bad. The one time it got so bad that I couldn't hardly lift my arm above my shoulder, or couldn't lift my yeah, I go to Dunnick Chiropractic. Dr. Moots takes very good care of me there. I've been seeing him. He knows I don't come in unless I'm dead or dying, so if I'm in there, he knows it's something bad. Josiah? Hey, it's for a good cause. I don't worry about it. I mean, that's what we're about here. So, yeah. We're definitely about that. Definitely about, and I want to encourage her and to be able to do things like that. And if she needs to use this platform a little bit to get a little help, I'm all for it. That's what family does. So, yeah, I've been going to Redneck now for 4 or 5 years. I went in there, I met them because I used to go there just to get my DOT physical for my driver's license. And then, I think it was about 4 years ago, I dropped the starter. Soundboard's not working. Oh, there it is. That was weird. Faded in late. And now it's getting louder. What the Ow! Oh! You go to Dr. Moots also, went to his dad. Well, what happened to me was I was changing the starter out of a semi-truck, and I had it like this, and I was pulling it out, and I actually had non-slip gloves on that you get from Snap-on. I bought them just because when shit gets really greasy in them semis, you know, it's hard to hang on to them, especially when they're covered in 8 inches of fucking grease. And so I grabbed a hold of it, and I had it, and I was squeezing as hard as I could, but that heavy son of a bitch fell right down, and the end of it landed right in my chest, and it dislocated one of my ribs, and that has got to be one of the most, honestly, one of the most painful things I've ever been through. Having a dislocated rib because you can't breathe, you can't move, you can't anything. I was supposed to take 3 days out of work, but I didn't take 3 days out of work. I did some parts deliveries and running some errands, but yeah. Dunix has always been very, very good to me. I've never had a complaint about them. They've never jacked me around. They've never given me, you know, like some of these chiropractors you go to, they want you to buy this waistband. It'll help you out. Buy this pillow. Buy this. You need this. You need that. And I've never gotten that from Dunix, not once. And that's one of the reasons I stay there. So, I've never had an issue with them, and even if Dr. Moots wasn't available or I was really bad, I've done a couple of walk-ins there where I was in really, really piss poor shape. Yeah! And Lazy, thanks for the follow. I've walked in there in pretty piss poor shape, and they're like, you just stay right there. We're going to get you in here immediately. Oh, yeah! Danielle Stella, yes, I've heard of her. I have, she's the one running against Ilhan Omar, this next election. We're actually going to be getting set up with an interview with her, hopefully here in not too long. I'll probably go down to the Twin Cities and we'll get things set up to be able to interview her from down there. Really, the My Pillow guy? Yeah, I don't know. I got a few words for the My Pillow guy because I've literally we've probably spent $300 or so on My Pillows, and they work really good at first. They work really, really good, And then it's like I gotta wash them like every other night just to get them to stay up to where they're supposed to be. So sounds like you got a lot of them to make there, little Miss Airhorn. I think Kirkhoven's going to have their street dance and their festivals this weekend, if I remember correctly. Danielle Estella stole $3,000 from Target. She's going to get charged with a felony, probably. Really? What? Five hours ago. Alana Omar's QAnon challenger accused of felony theft. The apparent QAnon, whatever that is, conspiracy theorist, a Republican candidate challenging Representative Ilhan Omar, was arrested twice last year for alleged shoplifting and pled guilty in 2009 to driving under the influence, according to The Guardian. Stella is accused of stealing 279 items from Target, totaling over $2,000. January 8th. This year, 6 months later, 31-year-old special education teacher launched her campaign to upset Representative Omar, according to the January police complaint cited in the report that Stella told officers she remembers arriving at Target to purchase the item but nothing else due to post-traumatic stress disorder, and that she normally goes to Target with somebody because of anxiety around people. Stella recently described Minneapolis as the crime capital of our country and claimed crime in the city has risen 80% over the past year. According to Minneapolis police data, there's only a 10.7% uptick following a 16.5% decline the year prior. In comments to The Guardian on Thursday, she denied the allegations. If I was guilty of crimes, I would never run from the police, putting myself in the public eye under a microscope to be attacked by all political sides. She was quoted telling the newspaper. And then, of course, it just blanks out because of ads. I love it when it does that.
What's up, guys? You guys are gonna have to ignore that little piece of light that keeps creeping up on my face, because as soon as I started to do this vlog, then the sun comes up. It was a nice, beautiful, cloudy day, and then right before the sun sets, the sun comes up out of nowhere, so I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, I'm in my car today. I'm doing a car vlog. I haven't done one of these in a while.
Something viable. Uh, Damn. Yeah, never trust a YouTube video. I really wasn't watching it. It just happened. I was looking at... uh, oh, shit. Yeah, as far as I know, she's the... Well, I don't know. She has a 9% approval rating, and I mean, I could probably run against Ilhan Omar and win. I really could. Yeah, her chance of winning just tanked. I mean, here's the thing. She has a 9% approval rating. Like, all her constituents were at the airport to greet her, and they didn't even fill one section. She was at a conference for Black Business Week, and there were like dozens of people showed up. Yeah, 30 people showed up. 30 people literally showed up to this thing. I mean, it's. I mean, seriously, let's think about this here. You have a 9% approval rating. Yeah, I could move to her district, and I could run as a guy who just moved to the district. I could run and probably win. Oh. Okay, now I got the whole story. See, all I got to do is send a message out. I'll get it. It says, this week Stella described... Oh, no. In a series of text messages, Stella said, I am not guilty of these crimes. In this country, I'm innocent until proven guilty, and that is the law. She added, if I was guilty of crimes, I would never run for public office. Okay, yeah, we read that part already. An attorney for Stella, Josh London, declined to comment. Stella is accused of stealing 279 items valued at $2,327.97 from the Target store in Edina to the southwest of Minneapolis on January 8th this year. She was arrested for alleged theft after security staff called the police. A criminal complaint filed to Hennepin County District Court alleged Stella was seen leaving the store without paying for most of her haul after scanning, quote unquote, scanning only a few items that were valued at about $50. The complaint, well, I mean, if you're standing in self-checkout, okay, so here's her defense. Stella has said publicly that she's a victim of severe violent assault in 2008. She is charged with thefts under her former surname, which is the Guardian agreed not to report because she said it could endanger her safety. She is charged with felony theft over the incident at Target. She faces punishments up to 5 years in prison and a fine of $10,000 if convicted, according to court filings. Police and court records said warrant was put out for Stella's rearrest for alleged contempt of court April 4th after she failed to show up for a court hearing. I guess I won't be interviewing her. When they checked her identification, police officers discovered that open warrant for Stella's arrest over failure to appear in court for earlier alleged shoplifting. Their incident report said, the report said Stella was arrested for alleged misdemeanor theft for taking cat merchandise and cat food valued at $40. Sounds like she's a kleptomaniac. Yeah, they said that in the earlier article I read that she was blaming it on her PTSD because she said she remembers walking into Target, but that's all she remembers. Yeah. If you guys want to check out the story, check out theguardian.com. It is on theguardian.com. The story and the speculation. She has gotten, I mean, shut up, Matt.
Do you suck dicks? Do you suck dicks? Do you suck dicks? Do you suck dicks? Do you suck dicks?
Sir, no, sir.
Bullshit, I'll bet you could suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
Sir, no, sir.
If PTSD gets her out of this, I'm going to get a new truck. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to get a new truck. Brand new one, Platinum Edition. I mean, seriously, if PTSD is the deal, listen, you want a violent assault? I got one. I got stabbed 6 times, got my face kicked in by a whole group of dudes. So, yeah, I'm going to get a new truck. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know when I'm getting waxed. I've not talked to Tech on the phone, and I don't know how long. I tried calling Mill Pond. They set some rules yesterday when they came in, but other than that, I've heard absolutely nothing. I don't know. I don't know when it's happening, how it's happening, whatever. It's there. So, yeah, we'll all have PTSD after watching Red get waxed. Yeah. We need to start a new donation goal up there for a whiskey fund or something. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be running against Omar. I think that district you're gonna see a lot of people coming out of the woodwork for that, simply because of the fact that She is not, and I mean literally, if the Democratic Party truly endorses her again, which usually typically, you know, the person running holds the endorsement, but the thing is I mean, you really can't keep somebody like that out front. You really can't. She doesn't represent Minnesota at all. I understand that it was a good thing they wanted to put a refugee out there showing how well that they adjust to American life, but I mean, you're talking somebody on 3 separate occasions posted anti-Semitic tweets, also posted up a picture of the world without Israel there. You know, I mean, she's literally just lied about one thing after another. Everything that comes out of her mouth is racist. I mean, she says anybody who doesn't agree with her is automatically racist, including Nancy Pelosi, okay, who is one of her biggest supporters. I mean, seriously. So we'll see what happens. Minnesota loves their veterans. I don't know. We'll see what happens. You know, it's like Muhammad Noor, okay? It's like Muhammad Noor, okay? You know, they knew prior to him serving on the police force that he wasn't mentally ready to handle it. He could not pass his mental aptitude tests. There was serious concerns. They tried using it later on in court in his defense. I mean, seriously. Her district is the #1 recruiting grounds for terrorists in the country. In the country. I'd like to have me a little vodka in this Gatorade, but I'm having a problem with hydration issues after this weekend. Well, every time she's confronted on it, she never answers it. She dodges the question. Matter of fact, where is... Let me show y'all something. Let's see if I can find it here. Somebody else told me to check it out. It's probably going to be back here ways. Because we've been on a lot of shit on the old screw tube. Where the hell is it? Would they take the video down already? Oh no, here it is. This is 34 seconds.
Quote-unquote jihadist terrorism, whether it's Fort Hood or San Bernardino or the recent truck attack in New York. What do you say to them?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. We should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of
quote-unquote jihadist terrorism, whether it's Fort Hood or San Bernardino or the recent truck attack in New York. What do you say to them?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. We should be profiling, monitoring,
See, the video's really blurry, but I'm trying to...
whether it's Fort Hood or San Bernardino or the recent truck attack in New York. What do you say to them?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing.
What the hell's going on, Americans? Jericho Green here with you once again, and I just got done reading an article in the New York Post. Now, I posted a video about this on my YouTube page and on my Facebook page. Ilhan, the double Somali agent Omar, some footage surfaced from an interview she did on Al Jazeera, makes sense, 2018, and the guy was asking her about, you know, the rise of Islamophobia in America. When Islamophobia, when was that created? 2008 or some shit? One of these garbage new words that mean jack shit. There's no irrational fear of people who practice garbage new words that mean
what
is that created? Zera makes sense. 2018. Agent Omar, some footage surfaced from an interview she did on Al Jazeera, makes sense, 2018, and the guy was asking her about, you know, the rise of Islamophobia in America. When Islamophobia, when was that created? 2008 or some shit? One of these garbage new words that mean jack shit. There's no irrational fear of people who practice.
I gotta find that interview.
Or people who are Muslims.
It's
people who are of the
got
nation
good commentary,
of Islam.
but one thing
in
I
some
like to
cases,
do is,
that fear is.
Oops. Yeah, we need to get to that shit. If that's the deal, I'm fixing to take this all the way out of the water. Oh. Oh, shut up already. Might help if I could spell today, huh? How long before they pull this one down? Let's see, does it come up on here?
Hashtag Trump is racist and hashtag racist in chief. Just some of what's been.
No. That's from 5 days ago. We need from 2018. All right, Grizzly, I appreciate you. I need something from... Of course, now I'm not going to be able to find it. Because they covered up with all this bullshit. Oh. This is crazy. I hate this when this comes up in the middle of something. Oh, it's all over. Oh, it was on the right one. Up front.
Hers is a remarkable journey from a refugee camp in Africa to a state legislature in the United States. In 2016, Ilhan Omar became the country's first elected Somali-American lawmaker. Last year, Time magazine put her on the front cover, calling her one of the women who are changing the world. So, does the future of the US look more like her or Trump? She joins me now. Ilhan Omar, thanks for coming on up front. You were elected, aged just 33, to the Minnesota House of Representatives in November 2016. That was, of course, the same night that Donald Trump was elected president of the US. How did you feel that night? Was it a happy night for you, a sad night, a bit of both?
I think it was bittersweet. I joked with my campaign staff and campaign supporters that we stayed a little too long at our party because there was a lot of crying and a lot of people who were upset. But when the reporters asked me how I was feeling, I told them that I was actually optimistic and hopeful because I believed that this was going to be the awakening of our nation. People were going to be awoken from their complacency, and we were actually going to get to work in not only resisting but reshaping and restoring this country's promise.
And within just a few days of taking office, President Trump brought in his infamous travel ban, the Muslim ban. You're not just a Muslim immigrant to the United States, you're a former Muslim refugee who's from one of the countries on the banned list, Somalia. So do you think President Trump doesn't want people like you in the country? Because he says it's not personal, it's national security.
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, if we were really being honest about what could be masqueraded as national security issue, we know that no one from any of these countries has ever posed a threat within this country. And so we know that for him and his supporters, this is just a political football, and they're using our communities and people who look like me as leverage.
You talk about him and his supporters. More than 1 million people in your state of Minnesota voted for Trump. He only lost that state, I think, by a percentage point and a half. Do you feel cut off, disconnected from a lot of your own constituents who clearly don't see Trump's Islamophobia or anti-immigrant rhetoric as disqualifying?
I mean, I think what we are seeing in Minnesota is people actually coming to terms with the kind of rhetoric that they thought was just that, rhetoric, now actually becoming policy. I don't think a lot of Minnesotans and a lot of the people in this country actually thought that he would implement.
Hold on. Donald Trump, with what is it, a 48 or 49% approval rating, and you have 9. 48 or 49% approval rating, and you have a 9% approval rating. Just saying.
They voted because there was that economic anxiety. They believed this guy was going to be part of negotiating this country into better economic situation.
You really think it was economic anxiety, not cultural or racial anxiety, that drove them to pull the lever for Trump?
I don't think a lot of people understood that the people that he was talking about, the policies that he was talking about on the campaign trail were going to have an effect on the members of their community, the people that they've grown to appreciate to be part of their communities.
When you hear reports of your president referring to countries in Africa, including your own country of birth, Somalia, as S-hole countries, do you think that makes him a racist? Is Donald Trump a racist in your view?
I mean, I think there...
He referred to them as shithole countries. They are shithole countries. Why? I don't know. They're third world for a reason. They have no money. They have no economic value to themselves. Their people are leaving at alarming rates and coming here to the United States, going to England, going to Germany. I'm just saying, they are shithole countries.
There isn't a debate about whether Trump is a racist. I think he fits into every ism. But what is important is for people to actually understand the implication of those kind of descriptions that he attaches to countries in Africa.
Oh, you mean like your anti-Semitic comments? And that here in America, some people just did some things on 9/11?
In Haiti and El Salvador. When we are having a conversation about what will ultimately make our country safe, it is about showing strong and principled leadership. It's about being the country that has been known to.
The Ellis Island Award for his work in the black community. Jesse Jackson appointing him with recognition for his work in the black community. He's really racist. Top advisor in Trump companies. A lady who worked herself up from the ghetto of Chicago. Yeah.
To foster open and inclusive society.
But you say there's no debate about whether Trump's a racist, and a lot of people would agree with you on that. And in fact, there's been an explosion in the number of anti-Muslim, far-right, white nationalist groups in the US over the past couple of years. Your own state of Minnesota experienced a record number of anti-Muslim incidents in 2016. You yourself, I believe, just a few weeks after your election victory, I think you had a cab driver call you filthy and ISIS and threaten to remove your hijab. How much do you hold Trump and the rise of Trump responsible for this explosion of US Islamophobia?
Oh, I would actually come very short of holding them exclusively responsible.
Really? I don't know if the KKK, which is now the IKA, has been around since the 50s. Or maybe even earlier. But that was all Donald Trump. The white socialist nationalist movement has been around since the 70s. But that's all Donald Trump. No. Actually, their growth started out during the Obama administration when they started allowing Black Lives Matters and Antifa to go in and start ruining towns and destructive matters. It is not because of Donald Trump. It is because of all the other stuff that was going on. And people got tired of being stepped on. People got tired of being told that because they're white, they don't matter. So what do a lot of white people do? They get butthurt, and they start standing with organizations that they may not necessarily believe in all their deal. And you've got a lot of young people who fall for the rhetoric of, I'm white, and I should be proud of that. But they don't understand all the inclination that goes with that shit. So this actually started back in the Obama administration and was quite heavily recruited. Charlottesville, anybody? Charlottesville? Anybody? Charlottesville? Okay.
For the rights. I think when you demonize and dehumanize, it is easy for people to commit acts of violence against those individuals because they no longer see them as a person, as someone who has feelings, who's worthy of respect. And I think that is where we are moving away from the idea that we are supposed to be a welcoming nation.
Really? We're not welcoming. Donald Trump wants to make it so we can bring more people in, that they're not stuck in a lottery system, that they actually are brought here, people who want to immigrate over here, are brought here on merit from other countries. Plain and simple. Brought here on their own merits.
A lot of conservatives in particular would say that the rise in Islamophobia is a result not of hate, but a fear, a legitimate fear, they say, of quote-unquote jihadist terrorism, whether it's Fort Hood or San Bernardino or the recent truck attack in New York. What do you say to them?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the...
Or San Bernardino or the recent truck attack in New York. What do you say to them?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. And so if fear was the driving force of policies to keep America safe, Americans safe inside of this country, we should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
But most of the...
Hold on.
New York, what do you say to them?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because...
White men are killing more people than anybody else, is what I'm getting out of this. Okay. Hold on. We're gonna look something up statistically. Might help if I could spell today. Now, according to let's see here. Huh. Homicide. Black or African Americans, 51.3%. White Americans, 33.5%. Hispanics, 12.8%. American Indians or Alaskan Natives, 1.4%. Asian Americans, 1.18%. 51.3% of all the homicides in this country are committed by Black or African Americans. And this is right, yeah. Right there it is. Not hard to look up. $4,379. They are actually almost just shy of double. Whites were 2,861. Yeah. The offender rate of African Americans were 8 times higher than European Americans. The victim rate was 6 times higher. Most homicides were interracial, with 84% of European Americans killed by European Americans, and 93% of African Americans were killed by African Americans. African Americans accounted for 52.5% of all homicide offenders from 1980 to 2008. And European Americans 45.3%. The rate of African American, the offending rate of African Americans was almost 8 times higher than European Americans. Just saying. But anyways, let's see what else she has to lie about.
They are actually causing most of the deaths within this country.
Is that what she said? White Americans are causing most of the deaths. But yet it said African Americans are committing homicides. This is just homicides. 8 times higher. 8 times higher. At an 8 times higher rate.
And so if fear was the driving force of policies to keep America safe, Americans safe inside of this country, we should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
Okay, why not the radicalization of black men or Hispanics like Donald Trump is doing, going after MS-13? The radicalization of Latinos. I could have sworn Donald Trump was targeting them directly. Why is it just the radicalization of white men? Why can't it be the radicalization of everybody? Gang members, period. Because Donald Trump has not only targeted Latino gangs, he has targeted white gangs. He has targeted African American gangs. He has pretty much targeted everybody.
But most of the funding and attention, even under Obama, obviously went towards Muslim communities. One of those communities is in Minnesota, your state, the Somali American community in Minnesota, where I think over the past few years, more than 20 young Somali Americans have left to go and fight for ISIL or Al-Shabaab or one of these quote-unquote jihadist groups abroad. That's a real threat, obviously. No one's pretending it's not a threat. So what do you do about it?
But I mean, I think, like I said, the focus of our...
Why is she not answering the question? Why is she not answering the question? He just said 20 people that they know of just left to go fight. Somali men left to go fight with terrorist organizations that are hostile to the United States. He said there's no doubt that this is happening. Now she's changing it.
Policies should be about keeping Americans safe, keeping us domestically safe, and where we actually find a solution is looking at our foreign policy, looking at how we are engaging with...
Hey, shit stain, asshole. Did you not hear what he just said? They were here in Minnesota and they left to go fight in countries or go fight with groups that are hostile to the United States. That's what he just asked you. Not the bullshit that you're saying. It has nothing to do with policy. The policies in which Donald Trump passed, the travel ban, is to prevent people like that from coming back over here. Call it a Muslim ban, call it whatever you want. Last time I checked, we didn't have the British over here trying to blow our asses up. We didn't have the British or the Germans over here flying airplanes into the World Trade Centers. I don't anywhere remember the Hindu attack on America. How about the Buddhist attack on America? Anybody? What about the Odinist attack? Anybody remember the Odinist attack on America? No, I don't remember that one either.
With the members of these communities and the kind of rhetoric, right, like that is being spewed out of leaders within our city halls, within our state capitals, and within our nation's capital.
Some would say.
No, excuse me. I live in a community that has a mass influx of Somali Americans, and we're being told that the money that comes from the government is to go to the Somali community, not to the rest of the community, is to invest in them in opening businesses, invest in them going to school, investing in them to do other things. Now, I don't blame the Somalians for it. It is not their fault. This is all stuff passed by Obama and his administration. I'm not mad at you guys over this. Please understand that. What I am pissed off about is in a community that needs help, they're only choosing to help out one group of people.
Some would say that's true. There's some really bad rhetoric coming from politicians, security leaders, etc. But also a lot of bad rhetoric coming from Muslim community leaders, imams, etc. Is that fair?
I think both of those statements could be true, and I think it just goes to show what happens when you have segments within communities that are using fear and hate to mobilize their base, and it is.
It's not fear and hate. She is the perfect Democrat because this is the same stuff they've been saying for decades. Fear and hate. Who created the KKK, by the way? Oh, that's right. It was Democrats. Who created Jim Crow laws? Oh, wait, that was Democrats again. Son of a bitch. You just followed right into place with the Democratic Party. Wasn't Bill Clinton accused of being a member of a certain white supremacist organization? Just saying.
Important for us to actually have a conversation about what kind of communities we are trying to build and what this nation actually stands for.
In an interview last year, you said your campaign for state office was about more than you. It was about shifting, quote, the narrative about what is possible. For those outside of the US, we have a global audience watching, who look at the current US president, maybe think he defines the US now, his anti-immigrant, anti-minority, anti-Muslim.
Anti-immigrant. That's why he wants to change the immigration policy so that way immigrants are no longer on a lottery system. And he's anti-Muslim. Nowhere to be found. He's anti-stupid. He's anti anybody who attacks America at its core values. I guess I don't know. I mean, Steve Harvey would tell you something different about Donald Trump. Ben Carson would tell you something different about Donald Trump. Ben Carson is in his cabinet. Don't tell anybody there's a black guy in Donald Trump's cabinet.
Sentiment. Do you see your story as a kind of foil, a counter-narrative to that? Are you personally the anti-Trump?
What I represent is an America that still allows people to fulfill that American dream. That you can come here at the age of 12 only knowing 2 phrases in English, have the opportunity to put yourself through school, and ultimately defeat a 40.
Okay, that's really nice for immigrants and for refugees, but what about those of us who were born here? What are you going to talk about those of us who are generations deep here? What about our American dream? We're not being taxed to death. What about our American dream, where we were promised all this stuff as long as we worked hard, but it's your party that keeps taking it from us, that continues to take and take and take and take. For the first time in the last 10 years, I actually got a tax break, and it wasn't because of the Democrats.
44-year incumbent to win a seat at the table, not only representing people that look like you, but a district that has a 70% white population. What I wanted people to know throughout my election was that this dream isn't closed off to people.
It never has been closed off. You came here as a refugee. You came here in a group of thousands that were shoved right down Minnesota's throat, who took more refugees per capita than any other state in the country. And then we were told we had to figure out the tax money to pay for it until Obama finally decides how many years into it, oh, we better send them some money. Ask any small business owner, independent owner, operator this year if they got a tax break this year finally. After we've had our asses handed to us for how many years? How many people were put off the road? How many businesses were closed down because of insurance? Because of their insurance regulations? How many people paid the insurance fine? How many people paid the fine for insurance because it was cheaper than paying the monthly premiums?
That the idea that a person of color or women could only win and run in districts that looked like them was something that we needed to move away from.
Ilhan Omar, thanks for joining me on Upfront.
Thank you.
That's our show. Upfront will be back next week.
I think we need to put that. Oh, I'll find it later. So, according to Ilhan Omar, radicalized white men are killing more people than anybody else in this country, which is a lie. Statistics just showed that African or black males kill more. African American or black American males kill it at a 8 times higher rate than whites. Yeah, mine went from $120 a month to $120 a month for full coverage health insurance to $700 with a $20,000 deductible or $10,000 deductible, something like that. I don't know. That's some ridiculous shit, though. All right, guys, we're going to get in. Let me see if anybody's on. Let's see here. Oh, Killer Steven's on. We're going to go raid him tonight. We're going to go raid Killer. I owe him a raid or two. He's raided us a couple times. You guys know what to do when you get into Killer Steven's deal here. Wait a minute.
People love the cozy feelings superheroes give them. But if you need love for what they get up to. They're all like that.
Make sure he's still alive. He is. Alright, give me 1 second here. Y'all stick around. Make sure you stick around for the raid. You know what to do. Yeah, we'll get Wolfram on another time. We definitely owe Killer Steven a couple of raids. He's always looked out for us. I appreciate you, Matt. Thank you.
We're making them dirt road dollars, way out yonder, having them holler.
think I did it right. Oh, yes, we did. You guys know what to do when we get in there. And here we go. You know what it is. Blow it up with some redneck invasion emojis. If you ain't got them, throw some, just put you've been rated.
Mr. Invasion! Welcome, everybody. Thank you for that raid, my friend. Might be perfect timing. We just finished our last guest. Hello, everybody. What were you up to tonight? You've been streaming at like random times. It's actually giving me chances to check out your stream every now and again. Instead of super early AM.